In this episode, we sit down with Ericsson to discuss live marketing and how brand experiences play an important role in building customer intimacy and driving brand awareness.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carrie Mahoney, Strategy Director of Jack Morton, and today I'm joined with Matt Smith, the Head of Live Marketing for Ericsson.
Hi, Carrie. Great to see you again.
All right, well, let's just talk really generally at first about live marketing and what it means to Ericsson. I'd love to understand, why are these projects so important, and why is it really imperative to connect with audiences through live marketing?
Yeah, I think the first thing I should do is explain our ecosystem a tiny bit. We make telecom network infrastructure and the services and software that are used to support that. Therefore, our customers are telecom operators, service providers, and there aren't that many of them. So we have a very intimate and close relationship with our customers. We know them all personally, and we spend a lot of time with them with very long sales cycles, and the deals we do are very big. And so we form this position as a trusted advisor more than anything with our customers. So it's not a traditional B2B in the sense that we use events to generate lots of leads. We use events, whether they're big physical events or digital encounters or just workshops, as a way to stay close to our customers and work out what they need and how our solutions can match them. So it's a lot about customer intimacy. And then I'd say it's about brand awareness. If I was to ask you, what do you know about Ericsson? But some people might just say, oh, you make mobile phones, or you used to. We don't anymore. So we also use the larger live marketing activities to try to get the brand awareness up of what we're contributing nowadays. And the reach of telecoms, so many amazing things that have transformed in our lives have come because of this device in the last couple of decades. And the network that supports everything like what we're doing right now, which we couldn't have dreamed of doing not that many years ago. So we have an impact beyond just our ecosystem, and using these events to really explain to the wider market what could be possible through technological innovation. That's what we're really out there doing live marketing for.
Obviously working because Ericsson has one of the best reputations in the industry for, customer care and service. So it's clear to see how those two pieces really come together to help the business.
Yeah, thanks for that. It is a blend. It's always a blend of the business imperative to stay close to customers, but we do want to push the brand forward and be seen as an innovator, because that is a differentiator for us. We invest more in R&D than anything else, and a lot of other people in our marketplace. So we would need to be able to amplify that via the use of experiential marketing. And so our marketing mix might at times look more traditional than other companies, because we do have a lot of event activities or a lot of big online activities, which are, if you like, digital events. But it is the nature of our business and also how we need to push the brand that it looks like that.
We think about Ericsson being, you were saying this yourself, it's a big B2B business, you're not doing all this kind of consumer stuff. It is much more focused. And so I think when people have B2B in mind, sometimes they think maybe creativity isn't as big part of the pot, but you and I have talked about this a lot in the past of, how creative design is a key ingredient to creating impactful experiences. And, I'd love if you could just kind of walk us through your thought process and approach to this and how you factor it into projects.
The audience journey, we fixate around how to make it more impactful, how to create the best environment to stimulate their imagination. So when we talk about immersivity at an event, like grabbing their attention with demonstrations of new technology, for example, or even the entrance experience to a booth, we can do a state change. They're at a busy technology conference, they're overwhelmed by noise, literally, and people interactions. Can we change their state of mind as they walk into our space? Can we make them more relaxed? Because if we can do that, then we can have an impact with the content we want to share with them, and they'll stay longer with us. So we'll look at the immersivity of the experience, the immersivity of the demos. Can we get a bit of multi-sensory interaction? So not just talk to them and show them some nice pictures, but have some tactile experience, maybe even some smell, or, can we bring nature into the experience? More green, more lush natural environment, use of light. Can we make people more curious to learn more, pique the imagination, and just spend longer talking to us?
It's funny, not to be too tongue-in-cheek about it, but everything you're describing is like you treat them like a human being instead of this living, working machine. You're like, no, as a person being in this environment that can be overwhelming and frankly exhausting, as we all know. And I think you guys put a lot of care into that, and it shows.
Yeah, and we're quite lucky in the way that we have a nice brand palette to work with. It's a subtle brand palette of colors and shapes, and it isn't overwhelming on the eye or the human experience. So we can use lots of, like I said, natural elements. The wood that we would choose to have in the paneling, for example, and the greens that we'd add in that we can have more than other people. And I really like that because you can create a relaxing space. I think there's some elements of Scandinavian design that often come into the work that we do, which people now expect from us when they come to our space. Yes, you're going to have somewhere nice to relax and sit down, but there'll also be a professional place for the serious meetings to take place. So yeah, we've enjoyed that kind of work. But can we create that kind of air that people can breathe, think, and then talk to us more? Yeah.
Matt, we were talking about live marketing in general, but it'd be great if we could take a deeper look at one of your main tentpole events that you were talking about, Mobile World Congress. Can you talk a little bit more about what goes into that and just the sheer scale of it?
For us, it's the biggest marketing activation we have of any year. It's a large portion of our annual budget goes into it. And a lot of responsibility, because we've been there from the start of that event to make sure we get the impact. We talked about how we measured it. To put things in perspective, we rent a space which is 6,000 square meters. That's about the size of a sports field. We have 2 floors. We have VIP zones, we have cafes, we have lounges, we have large demo floor and lots of meeting rooms. And we gate the entrance. So even though there's over 100,000 people that come to Mobile World Congress every year, except the pandemic years, about 10% of that traffic comes into our space. And those are our direct customers. Unfortunately, we can't let everybody in. There's a lot of people who'd like to come in. We just can't really facilitate those numbers, even with our big space. So it takes a large team effort. The close collaboration we have with you as an agency that we've had for ages, it seems, as long as I've been in the job and twice as long, I'd imagine in total. The success there is that we mobilize a big team for the event. That a lot of people who it's not their day job to work with events. I need to scale my team, by tenfold for this event, which is great fun. I get to bring in people from all around the business, and then obviously our agency partner. And what we look for is, with our brand position, can we maintain a quality level, which people walk in and feel that this is a different space? We talked about the state change. Can we get the immersivity? Can we use nature? Can we use light? But the quality level of the finish, make sure this is built. It's a big project to build this booth. Get it done in time, on time, always, and make sure that the finish is something people really appreciate. And they say, wow, this is a nice space to be in. So the quality is really important. And then the creativity that you and I already talked about. Can we bring new touches that make the experience memorable every year? And I quite enjoy that process of what have we got coming, which we could do, both on our stories, but then also, let's say, event tech. What's out there which looks interesting, which we could play with? And we're often playing with new design features or new ways to demonstrate things, which others haven't touched yet. And it's not just using a hologram for the sake of using a hologram. It has to fit into our story, for example. So we love that. It is about the almost 10,000 guests that we get into our space. Can we create a memorable experience for each of them? And they're all different, right? I mean, that's the key thing. And also give our staff who are there a positive experience. Really make them feel that they're part of something big. They're having a business impact. They all know that.
Yeah. And I think most importantly is it really does act as a very accurate and positive representation of Ericsson. When you walk into that experience, it feels like you could be walking into Ericsson headquarters, and I think that sense of pride also comes across with the employees as well, as they're walking around other places and they're like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm in the Ericsson stand.
Consistency is critical. Now, we also worked with you to build our experience center in Kista, the Imagine Studio, as an extension of our brand, Imagine Possible. The consistency in design is, like you say, really important to create that feeling of, oh, we're at home now.
Well, Matt, this has been so awesome. And thank you so much for your time. I always love talking Ericsson or just talking shop with you, but this has been really great to get a little bit more insight into the way you work and the way that you guys lead in your industry. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Carrie. It was a delight. See you soon.